in our everyday life, problems we face, things that we need the blessing of God. We just got through reading, He hath blessed us in heavenly places, right? And we read that He that spared not His own Son, but delivered Him up for us all, how shall He not with Him freely, that means with no strings attached, free of charge, freely give us all. What about those things in particular that we might need? Well, again, notice what he said here, our obligation is to believe, right? Did I read that right? Phil, would you give me Mark's Gospel? Yeah, Mark 11, verse 24. Look at what Jesus says here. Just notice the words. Mark's Gospel, chapter 11, verse 24. And I'll wait till Phil gets it here. Now go back to the King James. Therefore I say to you, what things soever you desire. Now that word there for desire might mean whatever you need, whatever it is that you ask. That's the word desire means that you pray for, that you ask for. What things soever you desire. Stop right there. What things soever. That means whatever it is. What things soever means whatever it might be. The thing that you desire from God, that you need, that comes under the category of those, how shall He not with Him freely give us those things? Whatever those things are that you desire, when you pray, so he says to pray, do what? Believe. Again, when they said, what is it that God requires of us? What does God expect us to do? What He expects us to do is to believe, to cling to cleave to rely on. What? Believe what? See, he doesn't just say believe generally, believe something specific. Believe that ye receive them, and you shall have them. Notice how positive and certain he is about this. Believe that you receive them. What does that mean? Well, another way to say it is believe that they are granted. Believe that they are granted. Believe that they are yours. Believe that you... And again, if you look up the word receive in the Greek language, you find out it's not a passive word either. It's an active word. It means to take hold of something. See, we think of receive in a passive way. Like I come and put it in your hands. And, you know, there's two parts to receiving something. You know, I could stand here, if I had a $10 bill and holding it out like that, I could stand here all day long, and if you just sat there in your seats like that, it's still in my hand. But though I'm offering it, there's got to be a response on your part, and the response on your part is to reach out and take it. Now, if God were a human being, if He were a physical being, we could go to His house and knock on the door and say, I need a loaf of bread, or I need whatever it might be, and He could give it to us, and we could just reach out and take it. But He's not physical. He's in the heavenly places. Remember we said we're blessed with all spiritual blessing in the heavenly places. But what we need is in this physical world. But Jesus said, when you pray, believe. Why believe? Because you don't see it. Because you can't see it. You can't see the spiritual world. You can't see the invisible God. But He's telling us this to give us confidence that the God that you can't see is endeavoring to grant unto you what you have asked for. But our part in it is one part, but it's an important part. Believe. Believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. His promise is you shall have them, but believe that you take hold of them. Believe that you're granted, that He's granted those things to you. Well, now, if you pray, and you believe that He's granted those things to you, what then do you do after that? Well, there's only one thing to do after that, and just say, I thank you. I thank you. Thank you. You might not see it yet. I wish everything were instant. You know, I like instant things. I like to go to the McDonald's drive-thru and push the button and get my food. I like it like that. But for some reason, it doesn't always work that way in the real world, in the world of other than McDonald's. But what do I do in the meantime? You know what I'm going to say, don't you? You just keep on believing. And that's the challenge. That is the challenge of this. That's why, you know, we might tempted to dismiss it when they said, what shall we do that we might work the works of God? And he said, this is the work that you believe. Well, sometimes it is an effort. It requires a decision, and it requires focus, and it requires hanging in there. But I think, here's what I think God's on our side. I don't think He's mad. In fact, I'm telling you for sure He's not mad. He's not upset. He says, your sins and iniquities, I don't remember them anymore. He's not finding fault. We could read passages where it says that He grants unto everyone. He does not upbraid. He does not find fault. If God be for us, who can be against us? our part in this is not to be perfect people, not be self-conscious and think about our moral performance, whether we've been perfect or not, or disqualified or not. We're not disqualified. Our part is to simply cleave to and cling to what he says and who he is, and just stand there believing what he said, and that we receive the things that we prayed for. Oh, it's gone away. What things soever you desire. When you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. But that's a pretty picture anyway. I like looking at it. Yeah. Believe that you receive them and you shall have them. Now I like that last part. He says, you shall have them. That's his word. It wasn't me that said that. It wasn't me that wrote the Bible. He did it. Jesus said these words. He says, you shall have them. Well, that's something I would hold on to, you know. And I don't know what it is that you need. I don't know, you know, all I know is I know in my own life things I need, but this is what he says to do. What things soever you desire, what you need, the things that you're desires of, I think he cares about those things. In fact, he wouldn't say this if he didn't. But our part is to, he says, when you pray, believe you receive them, and you shall have them.